Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from sacredsoulempowerment.com. Here to do your weekly intuitive reading for Monday, December 7th through Sunday, December 13th, 2020. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Animal Wise Tarot by Ted Andrews for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Just a reminder that we are now into the last month of the year 2020, December, so be sure to go onto my YouTube channel to watch the December monthly intuitive reading to get an overview of the month energetically, the astrological highlights, as well as messages from our angels and guides, along with a special message card, depending on your stone of choice for that. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at our stones of choice for this week. So the first stone of choice is sodalite. Now sodalite helps to unite logic and intuition. It helps with a drive for truth. It helps to organize the mind. It helps to balance and open the throat chakra to speak one's truth. Your second stone of choice is golden calcite. Now, golden calcite, of course, relates to the solar plexus chakra and your sense of personal power. It helps to encourage responsibility and leadership. It helps with the correct use of power, and it helps to increase your sense of self-worth and courage. And then your last stone of choice is carnelian. Carnelian, of course, relates to the sacral chakra. So therefore, it helps to enhance one's creativity. Also, it helps to enhance one's self-esteem. It increases your physical energy and increases motivation towards action. So again, your stones of choice for this week are the sodalite, the golden calcite, or the carnelian. So let's go ahead and talk about the astrology for the week. It's not a whole lot going on, but we are in the midst of eclipse season. So even though astrologically there may not seem to be as much going on this week as maybe previous weeks, we do have, again, this energy coming off of that full moon lunar eclipse on November 30th, and we're moving towards a new moon solar eclipse on December 14th, which will be the beginning of next week's reading. But for this week, on Wednesday, the 9th of December, we have the sun, which is currently in Sagittarius. Now, the sun rules how we shine our light. It rules the ego. It rules vitality. And it's currently in the sign of Sagittarius as it is during this time every year. Sagittarius is a sign of inspiration. It's a sign of expansion into the vision or the big picture. It deals with long distance travel. It deals with higher learning. It deals with your philosophy and belief systems. And the sun in Sagittarius on Wednesday will be in a challenging connection to Neptune, the ruler of the spiritual realm. Neptune rules illusion, confusion, and delusion, but also rules unconditional love, compassion, spiritual creativity, the idea of trust and faith and going with the flow. And of course, Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces right now and has been and will be for quite some time yet because of its slow movement. But with the sun in a challenging square aspect to Neptune, because the sun rules our sense of identity and our ego and who we are and how we project our creative self-expression out in the world or through our creative projects. That connection to Neptune makes it a little fuzzy. So in other words, a lot of times when we have the sun and Neptune coming together like this, it leads us to this feeling of not really knowing who one is, what one is supposed to be doing. So there's this confusion that kind of sets in. There's this energy of looking at oneself basically and just really not knowing what you're supposed to be doing, what steps you're supposed to take, etc. Now there could also be an energy of feeling a little bit lacking of energy because the sun rules our physical vitality, so we might feel a little usurped because Neptune kind of usurps things. It kind of makes them disappear in a sense. Because Neptune rules the intangible and the unseeable, so our physical energy is also usurped. Now, even though it's a challenging aspect, there could be an energy of being more creative, but you really have to trust it. It's like you have to trust what your intuitive guidance. You have to trust what's kind of coming up or coming through you. So it can be creative, but again, there might also be this challenge to connecting with. And the best way to connect with that creative self-expression is by connecting yourself to your higher self or connecting yourself to the universe. Because again, Neptune in this challenging aspect to the sun might feel like, well, it could be one of two things. You could either feel a lack of connection, or the fuzzy connection, I guess is a better way to say it, a confusing fuzzy connection. But you could also have this connection to where you just have to trust it, because Neptune rules trust and faith. You might have a lack of trust or a lack of faith that you're receiving the information appropriately, or that you're being given the correct guidance, or being able to read the guidance correctly. So just know that there might be some confusion surrounding that around that day. On Thursday, the 10th of December, we have a couple of things going on. The first thing that happens is that Venus, the planet that rules relationships, partnerships, as well as personal resources, other people's personal resources like money and finances, it's in a sextile connection to Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of transformation, regeneration, death and rebirth. It rules the subconscious. It rules power, or power and control. The sextile is a positive aspect, though. So Venus right now in Scorpio is a place where the divine feminine needs to empower herself. Venus in Scorpio to me is the empowerment of the divine feminine. It can also be empowerment within relationships, because Venus rules relationships. It could also be taking your power back regarding certain financial or money situations, because Scorpio rules money and Venus rules other people's money. So the sextile, though, is a positive connection. It's an aspect of opportunity. And so that sextile to Pluto gives us an opportunity to empower ourselves, take our power back, own our power, transform our lives, transform relationships, transform certain situations in our lives, perhaps money situations. Could be other situations, though, as well. Could be transforming subconscious patterns with Scorpio there. So we have this opportunity to transform some aspect of our lives, but we have to see the opportunity or be aware of the opportunity, and then we have to act on the opportunity to make it happen. Also on Thursday, the Sun, still in Sagittarius, is in a positive aspect to Mars in his home sign of Aries. Now, Mars rules energy, action, and forward movement. If you remember, over the last few months, part of 2020, Mars was retrograde in Aries, in his home sign, kind of slowing things down a little bit or muddling up the energies of being able to move forward in a timely manner. Now that Mars has turned direct, it's still trying to speed up a little bit, but it definitely is moving a little bit faster than it was a couple weeks ago. So to me, this is a positive aspect. The Sun in that inspirational, kind of creative, expansive sign of Sagittarius, shining our light in this creative, inspirational way, is in a positive aspect to Mars, assisting us in taking action and moving forward in some way. I feel like this could highlight higher learning, this could highlight teaching, this could highlight sharing information, this could highlight expanding oneself or being seen, networking. Some of these things could be assisted in moving forward with this connection to Mars. On Sunday the 13th, we have Mercury in Sagittarius challenging Neptune. So on Wednesday, the Sun challenged Neptune. Now Mercury is challenging Neptune. Mercury is the planet of our thoughts, our perceptions, our communications. It's also in Sagittarius, like the Sun is. So this is communicating with enthusiasm, communicating ideas, brainstorming, troubleshooting, expanding one's vision through your thoughts and your ideas and your perceptions. And it's really quite a wonderful energy. But with that challenge to Neptune, again, we might feel a little bit confused. We might have confusing communications with other people, or messages coming to us, whether they be from people or from the spiritual realm, might come through a little muddled, or we're unsure, or again, we're confused by that communication. our ideas could be all over the place because Sagittarius is a mutable sign, which means very changeable. You know, mutable means it's all over the place. And where the sun is and where Mercury is right now in Sagittarius, there's a little bit of ungrounded, unfocused energy. Not to mention that challenge to Neptune in Pisces. Pisces is also a mutable sign. So this can just mean that there's a lack of focus or a lack of clarity or direction with our thoughts, our perceptions, and our communications. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides for the week. The first card is the Hermit. This is Major Arcana number 9. The Hermit card in the traditional tarot is usually about going within, finding the light within yourself, finding the answers within yourself, kind of being a loner, kind of pulling back your energies and your, energetic or physical resources to go within. And here we have it represented by the owl. The owl is all about wisdom, and so is the hermit. That hermit usually is shown with a person holding a lantern, trying to light his way ahead. And it's about seeking that inner wisdom within yourself. It's about connecting to your higher soul self to seek those answers within yourself. And it says here, silent wisdom, vision, and guidance. And that's what the owl is about. The owl is about seeking that inner guidance within yourself, connecting with your own inner teacher, connecting with your own inner guide, again, connecting with your higher soul self. This is what the hermit teaches us. And then, of course, to trust that, and we talked a little bit about, trust with some of these aspects this week, is that you have to have faith and trust that your own inner guidance is true and appropriate for you, to not question that. And this is about silently observing too. The owls, right? The owls are silent observers of what's going on around them, kind of keeping to themselves. They do make noises and sounds out there in the forest, of course, but they're kind of these silent observers. And, there's definitely something to be said by listening to the inner voice through silence, through within conversations, having silence while the other person is talking, to really listen to what they're saying and to gain clarity on it, because these aspects this week with that square to Neptune, especially with Mercury, could bring up some confusion to where there's misunderstandings in communication because we're not really listening or understanding what the other person is trying to say to us. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next card for the week here. And we have the Four of Shapeshifters. This is like the Four of Cups in the traditional tarot. It's represented here by the stick bug. And it says activity beneath the surface. Now, the Four of Cups is usually about kind of restricting your own emotional body, limiting or restricting your emotional body or your emotions, kind of boxing yourself in emotionally, not allowing yourself to, wear your heart on your sleeve or to express yourself emotionally. And with this rendition of it, though, it talks about things going on underneath the surface. And I can see that too with these squares to Neptune from the sun, from Mercury. Neptune's being that intangible, unseeable spiritual realm, okay? And by the way, they're telling me right now, don't forget to say that the Sagittarius energy is a very lucky energy. So with the sun in Sagittarius, Mercury in Sagittarius, we can have inspirational ideas, there can be blessings, there can be gifts, there can be opportunities for expansion. And with the connections to Neptune, though, I think that this is something about something that we can't yet see, blessings that we can't yet see, things going on that we can't yet see or that aren't yet manifested. So besides the regular traditional meaning of the Four of Cups, we also have this meaning of things going on, again, beneath the surface or on higher realms, things kind of timing-wise on the spiritual level, the astrological level. Maybe things haven't manifested in your life quite yet in a certain area of your life, but part of it is that things are, what do I want to say? They're being moved around on that higher spiritual plane. They're being taken care of, the details being taken care of, your angels and guides on the higher levels, the higher planes of reality, are kind of setting things into motion for you, but you can't yet see it. It's not yet tangible. Neptune isn't allowing it to be seen yet, but soon it will be, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's take a look at this last card here for the week. They're saying to go back to the emotional aspect of the Four of Cups here, and restricting or limiting your emotions or emotional expression, or boxing yourself in emotionally, not allowing your heart chakra to be open. They're saying to go within, like the hermit here. Go within yourself, connect to your higher soul self and try to find the answers as to why that is. Why might you be protecting yourself emotionally? What's really going on there? And try to, again, locate within yourself some of those answers to those questions. Now the last card here is the Three of Ancients. This is like the Three of Fire, the Three of Wands in the traditional tarot. Here it's represented by the salamander, and it says unique inspiration and assistance. Three of Fire, or Three of Wands. So the unique inspiration and assistance, that seems rather right to me as well, because as I said, the Sagittarius energy, where the sun is, where Mercury is, can have that like a blessings and expansion and inspiration, happy, joyous kind of energy attached to it. And with the Neptune influence, even though this is a challenging aspect to Neptune for both the sun and Mercury, it still means that if you trust and have faith, rather than doubting, rather than fearing, rather than having anxiety about different circumstances in your life, if you trust and have faith, which is part of Neptune energy, then this unique inspiration and assistance, these blessings of some sort, are definitely there for the taking. So the trick this week is going to be, again, trust and have faith. You have in the middle there on Thursday, the sun in Sagittarius is in a positive aspect to Mars, so we can definitely use that in a positive way to move forward, come up with some creative, expansive ideas, thoughts, or perceptions, communicate it with other people to move forward in some way. But with the Neptune influence this week, just trust and have faith that you're being guided. Trust and have faith that the messages will come to you, the assistance will come, the support will come, and look for that, a unique inspiration and assistance. Unique means different, right? So it's going to come from a place, a person, a thing, or just out of the blue in a way that you didn't really expect. It's going to be something that you're not looking for, but something that's wonderful and assisting anyway. So that sounds like a wonderful way to end the week's reading. All right. The number 3 is about abundance and prosperity too, by the way, and expansion. And fire is all about creative self-expression and spirit, the spiritual realm. So I like that we're ending the week with the Three of Ancients there. All right, so let's take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice this week. Okay, Sodalite people. Special message for Sodalite people. This one's calling my attention. Angel of Balance. The first thing I thought of when I saw this, Angel of Balance, is that the eclipses, the full moon lunar eclipse on November 30th, the new moon solar eclipse coming up next week on the 14th, which, we're in the midst of, these eclipse energies, change, redirection, fast movement, fast, redirections on our path, is we need to stay balanced. There's a need to kind of really, whether it's staying balanced physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I've found since the full moon lunar eclipse that, my own mind, my own thoughts have been a little bit all over the place, that I've really had to pay a little bit extra special attention to balancing my mental body and even my emotional body too. So I feel like, and we do have a moon back here in the background, and isn't it interesting that it looks like it's being eclipsed? It looks like it's becoming a new moon and being eclipsed. So I feel like this is the closer we get towards the end of this week and into the beginning of next week, when that solar eclipse happens, is when the need to stay balanced is going to become more important for ourselves. So we have an angel here, and she's holding something in her hands. And to me, again, it almost looks like, it reminds me of Aladdin's lamp, to where, you can open it up and make a wish, or have the genie come out and make these wishes to the genie. I don't know what that has to do with anything, except for, again, it makes me think of blessings, the blessings that are there if you trust and have faith. And we have the powerful pyramids here in the background too. So some of you might have ancient Egyptian kind of connection, past life connection of some sort, where you can draw upon that past life to bring forth a sense of kind of power, spiritual power, as well as spiritual balance for yourself. All right. For those of you that chose the golden calcite, let's give this a little shuffle, asking for the special message for golden calcite people. And the one on the bottom is calling my attention as I shuffled back there in the bottom. And it says 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. And so again, we have Mercury highlighted this week at the end of the week with Neptune. And Archangel Gabriel is the archangel that deals with speaking, teaching, writing, all forms of communication. And of course, he's relating here in this card to the 5th chakra. So something about communication with other people, or speaking your truth to other people, voicing your opinions. If some of you are teachers out there, or you're going to teach a class, or you're going to do a presentation, or you're going to even go have an interview or have an important phone conversation, whatever it might be, even a written correspondence, call in Archangel Gabriel this week and ask for assistance in bringing you the right words, helping you to, communicate what it is that you're trying to get across. Because again, that Mercury-Neptune combination can make things a little fuzzy and unclear, and he can help us to kind of clarify what it is that we're trying to speak or trying to say to other people, and also help to unravel any confusing communications coming to you from other people. So call on Archangel Gabriel, and ask for some sort of clarity. I feel like you're going to get some messages too. This is not just about communication, but also receiving messages. He's got his horn here to me, and just makes me feel like some message or messages are coming to you regarding some situation in your life. Maybe it's a message you've been waiting for. Maybe it's something different. But this is definitely something that needs to be paid attention to as far as any messages. Okay, and then the special card for the people that chose the carnelian. Let's see what special message carnelian people have. Carnelian, this one's sticking up here for you. Oh, it says anxiety. So a lot of this energy, the mutable energy of Sagittarius, the mutable energy of Pisces, where Neptune is causing some anxiety for you. So I feel like there's a need for more meditation. There's a need to help to ground yourself. There's a need to shift your perception or perspective to one of trust and faith, because whatever's causing the anxiety may not even be something that's manifested. It may not be something that's even happened yet, and you're just worrying about it. You're having doubts and fears and worry and anxiety about something that may not even be a reality yet. So that's one thing, is to be able to shift your focus more into one of trust and faith. And the best way to do that is to ground your energies. Get out in nature if you can, or if you're one that likes to be in water, take a nice relaxing bath or shower and do a meditation, or set up your altar, light a candle, and focus on deep breathing, maybe doing some yoga, whatever that might be. I feel like we want to pull maybe clarification card or an extra card there for the people that chose the anxiety card. Let's see what special additional kind of message we can get to help you or clarify that anxiety thing. This one's calling my attention. Have a strategy. Okay, so whatever's causing the anxiety, have a plan. You know, if something may happen, but it hasn't happened yet, rather than worrying, again, have trust and faith, but also make a plan of what, you know, if this does happen, what's my strategy? How am I going to react? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? What actions will I take? So here we have a quill feather, right? So like we're writing down our thoughts. So you could write down your plan, write down the possibilities, the pros and the cons, whatever it might be, but definitely have a plan or a strategy behind, you know, the what ifs. But at the same time, don't dwell on the what ifs, because the what ifs might not even happen. All right, everybody, I hope you've all liked this weekly intuitive reading. Thank you so much for all of your support. Please subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when new videos come out, and like and share the video if you do like it. I would love to be able to expand myself and my audience, so anything that you can do to help is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your support on Facebook and through my website, Sacred Soul Empowerment, and checking out some of the new things I have going on. Got a wonderful shop page that you might want to just check out and look at. A lot of good things that have been added there for the holiday season. So sending you lots of love and light, everyone, and many, many angel blessings.